Hello and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie, and this is Lunch Break. And here we are on New Year's Eve, closing out 2021. It's crazy to think how quickly this year has gone. It's crazy to think how this year was not a whole lot different than last year, but very different from years past. But here we are. And we're together. We've continued to craft all year, virtually. But you know what? We're getting together and we're seeing each other's faces and we're commenting on each other's posts on Facebook, and we're adding comments with pictures of our crafting to posts on Facebook. And isn't it wonderful that we can still share what we love? And that is part of the Stampin' Up! Statement of the Heart, to share what we love. And that's what I'm here to do with you today. So, welcome. If you are watching live or on replay, please do leave me a comment and let me know that you've had a peek at this. Love to see who's been able to stop by, and we'll, just go from there. So, I am just going to scroll down here. Gosh, you know what? Technology again. Oh, there it is. Oh, it came, it went. And I forgot to mute this. One moment, folks. There we go. I think I'm good. You may notice that my background looks a little bit different again. And now it's again very basement looking. It's kind of a good news, bad news sort of thing. My husband is starting on my craft studio. For any of you that follow my posts, you'll notice that, or you'll probably have noticed that my husband is referred to as MSH, my sweet husband. He does all sorts of wonderful and helpful things for me, and I love that. But he's also very handy, and oh my, we do enjoy that. So, great benefits. Anyway, as you know, my craft studio is in the basement of my house, and so my walls have been plastic covered insulation for ever since I moved in here. But he is going to start putting up drywall on the walls, and then I will be able to get them painted and add some color. I'll be able to hang things. It's super exciting. But the downside of all of that is that, of course, he needs room to work, and I had the room kind of filled. So I have been working on moving the things that I most need out of there into the center of our basement, which is kind of what you see in this view here. I have set up a temporary table that I'm working at, so I have everything I need to keep crafting, not to worry. And we will keep going with this, but lots of work moving stuff around and everything else. So anyway, enough about that, and I will share pictures as we go. Once I get this temporary area kind of set up, I'll show you my temporary crafting space. And I know people often like to see what's going on in other people's craft studios to get some ideas of how they store things and where they store things and what they do. And my setup is not necessarily spectacular, but it is one that works for me. So I will share it with you, and maybe it'll give you some ideas of some things that you can do in your craft area. Hi, Donna. Thanks so much for stopping by. We are just about to get started on our crafting. So I am going to turn this down as soon as I figure out how to do that. Push this little button, I think. Yes, there we go. Okay. So, new setup again. I tested it earlier, and stuff was in the right place. Things were the right way up. The light is not spectacular here. Are we okay? What do we got going on here? Let me just take a peek here. I need to move this down a little bit, which will get it into some better light, perhaps. Okay, it's different every single time, isn't it? I think we're good. I think you can see what we're up to and what we're doing, and so I am ready to share. Let me just let's see here. Nope, that's not quite what I wanted to do. Okay, so now, alrighty. Hey Terry, thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a good holiday season, and you too, Donna. It's one of that funny week in between, isn't it? So, anyway, for today, waiting for the live signal. I hope you guys aren't cutting in and out. Looks like we're back to being okay, but hopefully. Oh, sound is good. Okay, excellent. So here is what we are going to be up to today. This is a sketch, and sketches can be wonderful if you're struggling for ideas of what to do. There's all sorts of them out there on the internet, and you just grab one and you can use the bits of it that you like. You can modify it. This one, you'll notice, has squares. If you want to use circles, go right ahead. You know, it's up to you. This is just a starting point, just something to inspire you. But this is what we're going to do today, and we're going to stick fairly closely to this layout, at least initially. So I am going to set that aside, and I am going to bring in supplies for the first card here. So today I have some pale papaya cardstock for my card base, standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Calypso coral that is 5 1/4 by 4, and that will be a layer. I then pulled out my You're a Peach designer series paper. So I have a strip of that is 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. I have 2 pieces of the designer series paper. I may or may not use both, depends. It depends on what I decide as we're going, but there's 2. These are 2-inch squares, and I also have a 2-inch square of basic white in case I decide that I want to put some stamping on this card. And then I have 2 2 1/4 square pieces of Pear Pizzazz, and these are just for layering. So let's move some of this stuff to the side and get on with the layering. I think I'm going to use this piece with the flowers. So I am just going to put some adhesive on here and attach it to one of these squares. There we go. The weather is doing some funny things around here again. It was kind of chilly, and it's still a little chilly, but it's supposed to get warm again on the weekend, which means the snow on the hill may struggle a little bit for the next few days, but we'll see. And then I think it's supposed to get cold again, but they were calling for possible rain on New Year's Day, I think they said. It's crazy weather we're having, but not as bad as out west. Western Canada is in an absolute deep freeze. So I've brought in the Pear Pizzazz ink and a sentiment. This is a sentiment from Timeless Tulips, which has some great sentiments. Happy Mother's Day, happy birthday, just a hello, what a beautiful difference one single life makes. These are all wonderful things. Then we have some of the get well soons, and then we have may the memories of yesterday comfort you today. And sadly, I have a really good friend who needs a card with this sentiment right now. So that's what I'm using. Don't tell her this card is coming to her. I hope my secret is safe with you. So I'm just going to stamp this down on here. There we go. And I don't think I need to stamp that in the Pear Pizzazz, whoops, anymore. So I'm just going to give it a little clean off. There we go. Okay, close this up so we don't don't end up with that anywhere that we don't want. And move this out. And we'll get some adhesive onto this piece. Whoopsie. So a couple of, I'll say, bigger events that are coming your way in the new year. There's all my regular stuff that you may be well aware of, all my Facebook lives and card classes and all those sorts of things. Whoa, that's not even remotely close. Don't stick. See, clearly, you know, I might be able to walk and talk, but I can't talk and paste. But we saved it. There we go. Okay, back to the big events coming in January. So the very first week of January, next week, I am going to be live on Facebook every evening, starting at 7:30, and I'm going to kick off and share things from the brand new January to June mini catalog and celebration. So that is super exciting. We love celebration because it means for every $60 that we spend on any products at all, we can choose something for free from the celebration brochure. So who doesn't like free? Come on, really, eh? So we will do that each evening next week. I'm going to take over my craft and chatter that I normally do on Tuesday night. It won't be on Zoom. I will be crafting and chattering on Facebook Live right here on this page. So hopefully you can join me. If you can't join me live for these events, they will all be recorded, and there will be some challenges to encourage you to join in with some crafting fun. You don't have to use the products that I'm using. You know, you can use anything that you have in your stash. It's just about having some crafting time and making some projects for the new year. So that's what we will do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So lots of crafting coming up. I also have a new event that I'm I will be kicking it off the Friday of that week. It's called Connie's Craft Along, and it's a little bit like a mystery stamping. It's like the way some people do mystery stamping, not how I do mine, if you've attended any of mine. But I will give you some ingredients to gather. This looks like it's hanging down. Let me just double check. Oh, it is hanging down a little bit. So I am just going to trim this off before I stick it down. My designer series paper was just a wee tad longer than my cardstock. So I'll take that itty bitty smidge off of there. Yeah, so I will put a picture up on Facebook of the ingredients that you need to gather, and then we will get together on Facebook Live at 7:30, and we will make a card, and you won't know exactly what card we're making until we get going, but I will craft along with you. So a little bit different than my mystery stamping, sort of a combination of me crafting and you crafting, and you don't know what you're making, and there's every possibility I don't know what we're making. Maybe we'll take turns offering suggestions about what to do next. Should I put a sentiment here, or should I put an image here? Which gem should I use? You know, we will see. Okay, it's super sticky right here. I don't know why it's not rolling on my paper. There we go. Operator error, clearly. So these two squares, you may recall from the drawing of the sketch, were overlapping, but they can be anywhere. So they are overlapping, so I am going to overlap mine. And I'm going to do this second one with some dimensionals. So it will overlap and be popped up, just because it can be. Okay. Oops, another one of those. I don't know, I've had a lot of these lately where I think I pull too hard and I get a layer of the bottom of the dimensional page, and then they don't stick, and I pick up my cardstock and they slide right off. But you just have to take the extra layer off, and then you're good to go. So that's what we have here. Okay, so we're just going to put this down about there. There we go. And then in the sketch, they had some embellishments up here. I have more room down here. I think I might put my embellishments at the bottom, because it's only a sketch. It's just to give you some ideas of some things that you might do. So I am going to bring in my clear rhinestones, and this is the dark pale papaya Stampin' Blend. So I am going to color on some of these. So I think I'm going to do one of the big ones. And when you color with a light color like pale papaya, it just gives a very light tint. So it's not clear, but it's not super orange. Depending on the angle that you're looking, you can see it a little bit more one way than the other. But as I say, it's not quite clear. These two are right side by side, so maybe we'll do these two. That one's kind of bouncing around. I'm not sure how much color I got on that guy, but we'll see in a moment. So I'm just going to grab him right now before he sticks to the paper completely. Normally when I put these on, I would... Okay, you know what? I'm going to abandon that one. He's just not really happy. So we're going to color another one here. And now I can do it the way I would generally do it, and that is I would start with the gem that I'm going to put in the middle. If I'm going to put them in a row, I would start with the one that I want in the middle, because it's easier to space them on each side than trying to do a row, 1, 2, 3. The other thing you can do is do the two outside ones and then put the middle one in the middle. That's another way that's fairly easy to get them lined up nicely. So there we go. I should keep this. I'm going to use it again. You know me and gems. For making more cards, there's going to be more gems. So hopefully you can see that those gems are they're not real dark, but they're definitely not just clear. They have a little bit of color to them. So just a little bit different. So there we go. There's our first card. Quick and easy, but personally, I think it's really pretty. So on to the next one. And for this one, we have a lot of the same ingredients. We have no designer series paper square. Where did it go? Whoop, it slid out. So I do have a 2x2 square, and I have a different back strip this time. I chose one of the stripes, but again, all of this designer series paper is from the You're a Peach package, which is just a fun package of paper with some really pretty colors: pale papaya, pear pizzazz, calypso coral, and then there's also some balmy blue in there, so it switches itself up a little bit. So for this one, this time, instead of putting a sentiment on my card, I think that I am going to stamp an image, just because I can, just to be different. What I want to do is this. Oops, dirty piece of paper. Sorry guys, dirty paper. But I need to put something under there because my stamp is bigger than my 2x2 square. So I am just going to ink up my stamp, and this stamp is from the Tasteful Touches stamp set. So again, there's some nice sentiments and some different images, and I am using this leaf branch for this card. So I am just going to stamp this. And I know it's not all going to be there, and that's fine. We'll just fill what we fill, and the rest will hang off the edge. So, there we go. Okay. Just give me a moment to close this up. This card isn't going to have a sentiment on the front, so it can be used for anything. Sometimes it's nice to have some of those cards around that they're not specifically for an occasion or an event or anything. And then you can use them for anything when you need them. Donna, you were asking what time. I assume, maybe I shouldn't assume, but I'm thinking you're asking about the catalog kickoff events on Facebook next week. They will all start at 7:30, and they won't be more than an hour long. I would tell you exactly how long they would be if I knew exactly what I was doing, but oh, good grief, it's only Thursday. Okay, I'm fessing up. I do not have everything planned. I have been thinking about this for quite some time, and I have been working on some ideas, but yeah, I don't have everything prepped and ready. That would be a little bit more organized than I am this time of year. I don't know. We haven't really done a whole lot over the holidays, but I just seem to feel like I'm chasing the ball a little bit. So anyway, I will be ready for next week, I promise. And if I'm not ready, I will fake it till I make it. And, you know, we'll craft together and we'll do some things, and I'll make it up as I go along. I'm sure I won't be the first demonstrator to do something like that. In fact, I know I won't be the first demonstrator to do something like that, because I have friends that have fessed up to, you know, just grabbing some supplies and and, you know, crafting, and you just sort of see what you see and get what you get, and it usually turns out marvelously, and it's lots of fun, and it's kind of like the demonstrator doing mystery stamping all by herself. But you guys can help. You can tell me what to do. There you go. There's your big chance. Tell me what to do. Of course, I say that rather in jest, but I am always open to your ideas, your suggestions. If there's something that you would like to see, let me know, and I'll slot it in. Donna, I know you said you were going to order the picture This Dies. And so I'm thinking one of my nights soon, I'm going to pull out the picture This Dies, and we're going to have a play with them, and then I can share some of my ideas and creativity, and then you can go off and play with them, and you can show us what you create with them. So, okay, put this down onto here. Okay, so again, same layout, but we could do it differently, a little differently. They're just coming down the other direction. We could change it up over here a little bit. Not sure I like it right over there. I think I want some of this showing, but maybe we'll go the other direction this time. So I will put this one down. Onto my card. Over, and we'll go a little lower this time, maybe. Go a little lower? Sure. What the heck? Okay. Now, I'm not going to really use these stripes as my guide, because they're not exactly straight. They're straight-ish. I've done that before. I've followed you know, like these hand-painted look stripes on things, and then I stand back and look at it and go, oh yeah, they weren't even close to straight lines that I was, you know, putting something up against. So I won't make that mistake today. Doesn't mean my paper is straight, but hopefully I have a better chance of it being straight. Okay, so yeah, this is Terry says she loves the layout. So it's an easy layout. It's quick. It's fun. And again, as I said, it's a starting point. You don't have to do it exactly as that sketch was. You can change the shapes. You can, oh gosh, now that I'm looking at this, this is not straight. So when I moved my stuff out of the other area, I put this really close handy. Wonder why, eh? I don't think it's straight. Anyway, I'm going to pull it off and try again, and we will see. So let's put a little bit more adhesive on here. Line this up straight, and I'm going to look at these grid lines out the edge there. Okay, I think we got it this time. And then it looks crooked though, those the lines on these papers that are not straight. They mess with your eyes. But I think we're good. I think we got it. Okay, so now I have some genial gems that I thought I would use on this card. And these are perfect. They're Pear Pizzazz and Pale Papaya. Of course, as perfect as that seems, now I don't know which color I want to use. So there's the Pear Pizzazz, the Pale Papaya. You know what? I used Pale Papaya on the last one, so maybe we'll use Pear Pizzazz for this one, just to change things up a little bit. And this time I will just put these down in a random pattern, not worry about lining things up in a row or anything. There we go. There. And there is our second card. Okay, so I mentioned that, you know, this is a starting point, a kicking off point. So for the third card, I have changed it up really just a little. I'll be honest, I didn't change it a whole lot. But I did change it ever so slightly. So for this one, I have used some of the Balmy Blue card designer series paper. So I've gone with a Balmy Blue card base, again standard card base, same size, and here are the two pieces of the designer series paper that I am going to use. And I have another 2x2 square of the basic white and the 2 1/4 squares for mounting those two pieces. But rather than doing a whole 5 1/4 by 4 layer, I thought I'd leave more of the Balmy Blue showing, so I've just done a layer for this strip of designer series paper. Okay, now I could have gone right out to the edge. In fact, I'm looking at this thinking perhaps I should have. I was thinking it would butt against the piece, but it's butting against the piece of paper that is not here. So I kind of think that's a little bit of a boo-boo on my part. I'm going to go cut a piece 5 1/2 by 2. Give me one moment. I'm sorry about this, ladies, but I think this is what it needs to be. So hopefully in this new setup I have everything quite close and I can fix some of these mistakes. So there we go. Okay, we're good. I think I will like this better. So now it is a border around the whole thing, and it will go right to the edge of the card. I think that will work better. Okay, sorry about that. You, out the door. We'll use you on another project. There we go. Okay, so let's get some of these things attached here. And I will need to do some stamping as well. Bring that in. There we go. Okay, and put this one on. Okay, bring this in. Now we can't go right to the top or bottom because this is not the Pale Papaya is longer than the designer series paper, which was what I was after, isn't it? Yes. Okay, so there we go. All right, and then we will bring in the I think I'm going to use the same sentiment that I used earlier, but this time I'm going to stamp it, obviously not in Pear Pizzazz. I'll use Balmy Blue. So I have my Balmy Blue ink here. I was using this paper for a challenge I was doing. You'll see it in my Saturday post from the Fab Stampers. And so I had the package out, and it's like, oh, I haven't played with this paper for a while. Of course, we haven't played with a lot of our regular paper for a while because we've been doing Christmas cards, but I had it out and I thought, I am just going to use this paper for lunch break today because it's really pretty. I love the colors in it. And like I said, I hadn't used it for a while, so today was the day to continue to play with it. Okay, so there's that, and we will get this mounted onto the pale papaya piece. I hope that my lighting looks like it's gone a little funny. I've got lots of shadows here. I'm still trying to work out what the lighting will be in this area. MSH did put up a couple of overhead lights for me in this area because it was quite dark. But when you're crafting, of course, you need lots and lots of light. And he thinks it's really bright. But when you do something like this, you kind of see that it's maybe not as bright as you would like it. But anyway, we will get through today, and I will see what I can rig for next time. Okay, so here is our card base. So this time, this is just going to go on to right onto the card base. There is no layer. So, okay. I think I will put this in about here. There we go. Very similar. I could have actually done it over onto this side. I didn't think about that till it was sticking itself down, so I'm not going to mess with that now. Maybe the next one. For another day. Another time, another day. There we go. Okay. Put this... where are we going to put this? We go near the bottom? Maybe we'll go near the bottom on this one. Well, overall it will be near the bottom. That particular piece is not, since it's only the first one. But we will get ready for the rest. Okay. Get some dimensionals onto this sentiment piece and get him stuck down. And then we're back to my favorite part again, the gems and the jewels. And I always like to embellish things. We have so many wonderful embellishments. I love how the colors coordinate, and when you don't have exactly what you want, you can pull out your Stampin' Blends and make it. You can color ribbon with them. You can color gems. Hugely versatile, and of course, then everything, the colors always match. So there we go. And for this one, I am going to use some of these blue adhesive backed dots. These were out last year, and they stayed on in the annual catalog, and they are so pretty. They're just beautiful balmy blue, and then some of them are darker, but because this card is very balmy blue, we're going to use these. So we'll go with one of the larger ones, and so you know what, maybe we will do 3 big ones on this card, just because we can. And then I can get rid of this little piece too. There we go. See? That's why we wanted to do that. I'll put this over here. There we go. So there you have a third card. Same sketch, same idea, but just a little bit different in that I didn't put the whole piece at the back. And there we have the other two. At the further to the top with the gems at the bottom, and further to the bottom with the gems at the top. So that's what we have. Shall I be brave and try and bring this back to the top again today to finish off? It worked the last time, I think. So let's just oh, thanks, Donna. I'm so glad that you like them. I need to do this. There we go. Look, here I am, I think. Let me just see. There I am. Okay, I'm back. It's always a good thing when the technology does what you're trying to make it do. So anyway, those are the cards for today. I hope you like them, and give it a try. If you're looking for ideas on cards to make, if you look up sketches, there's lots and lots and lots out there, and you can use it just as a jumping off point to inspire you and change it up. You know, maybe you do one with squares and then you do one with circles, and maybe you do one with triangles or die cuts or whatever you like. Anyway, it's a great way to be inspired and try some different things. So thank you all for joining me, and I hope to see you again. Next time I see you, it'll be 2022. So have a great New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, everyone, and we will see you in 2022. Bye for now.